Yo, what's going on, everyone? My name is DJ, or I go by DJ. That's not my real name, but that's what I go by. And I decided to do this video because of the simple fact that I just found my father, um, who I haven't seen since like I was 5 years old and stuff. And I'm 35 now, born and raised in Long Island, New York, or what have you, and um, just decided to create a Facebook with my real name. I have an alias name or what have you for everything that I do as far as like the club scene and stuff like that. But probably about a month ago, I created a Facebook with my real name. And so, needless to say, when I did that, I started getting reconnected with, church family who I haven't seen in a couple of years and old friends and stuff like that. Um, and old family and stuff like who I haven't seen or talked to since I was a child and everything. Um, so needless to say, I started getting reconnected like a couple of days ago with my godmother from New York or what have you. So she was ecstatic to see me as a grown man now, and she and I, we just reconnected, and I started talking to her and everything like that. So just started reminiscing, about my mom, which my mom passed away in 96, 97, or what have you, from complications to HIV/AIDS and stuff. Um, so needless to say, after that experience, a little bit about me. I'm 35. I grew up in foster care um, in St. Louis, Missouri and stuff, and been through the foster care system. And my life kind of like been up and down, especially after my mom passed away and everything. It's just been kind of like topsy-turvy and everything like that. And so basically, reconnected with my godmother, talked to her. Asked her, did she know anybody that knew my father, because I hadn't seen him since I was like 5, 6 years old and everything like that. And so she really didn't know, but she said she would find out, from different people or what have you, where she can connect me to see my father or get connected to him. So I was like, okay, cool. So as I got connected to her and she friended me on Facebook, then other people started randomly hit me up saying, "Oh, are you Wanda's son? Are you Tyrone's nephew?" and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Oh yeah." They started like hitting me up, calling me like childhood names like Jed. It's like, Jed, is that you? Or my other childhood nickname, which I don't like to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway because my mother's best friend reminded me of it. She hit me up the other day and was like, she was like, "Yo," she said, "Nookie." That's my childhood name. So they was like, she was like, "Nookie, is that you? Aren't you Wanda's son?" And I was like, "Oh my God." I said, "Yeah." And I remember her face, but and everything. So she and I just started reminiscing and stuff. And I asked her, I said, "Do you know anything about my father? How can I, get in contact with him?" So she said that she would put her ear to the ground and find out and stuff from somebody in Far Rockaway or whatever the case may be. I was like, okay, cool. So as I'm talking to her, two of my um, mother's best friends hit me up on Facebook as well, and they was like, "Oh, how you doing, sir?" And I was like, "Oh wow!" Like immediately when I saw them hit me up, I remember their face, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is like unbelievable." In terms of like everybody just hit me up on Facebook. So they hit me up and they kind of like made mention, "Oh, I like your pictures. You look grown now and stuff. You look just like your mother, and you look just like your father and stuff." And I was like, "Oh my God." Here's somebody else mentioning my father. So I called, I was like, okay, do you know where he at and everything? They was like, well, no, we don't know where he at because we live out of state now in Alabama. And I was like, oh, okay. They was like, but you may want to get connected to a person named, and I want to thank him too because he's the one who actually made the connection, Mr. Tony Riley. Um, from New York. They was like, you need to probably contact him because they used to be a part of the same band and stuff. So I was like, okay, so I found him on Facebook. Matter of fact, yesterday, right before I got off from work, I hit him up, sent him a message saying, I don't know if you remember me or what have you, but I'm Wanda's son, and Teresa and Ruby and my godmother, Desiree, told me to hit you up and everything, that you may have some type of connection on me trying to find my father, who I haven't seen since I was 5, 6 years old. So I was like, okay. Um, so I sent that message to him and actually sent him a friend request as well. So when I got home from work, he accepted my friend request and he wrote me back and he was like, "Oh, little bro, yeah, I remember you and stuff." He was like, "It's been a long time, woon to woon, all that kind of stuff." And he was like, "Yeah, I can help you find your father." He said, "Just give me a couple of days or something to that effect." And I was like, "Okay, fine." And so lo and behold, he even like looked up at my pictures and stuff on my Facebook page, and he was like, said he like tagged one of my pages and said, "Oh my God," he said, "You look just like your father," and stuff. And so I responded back to on the picture, and I said, "Yeah," I said, "People been telling me that." I said, "I wish I could say the same thing if I knew who he was or saw what he looked like." Um, so he was like, "Okay," he said, "I got you covered. Just give me a couple of days." And so lo and behold, I was at work this evening, and right before I got off from work, it was right about 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm sitting at my desk working, and all of a sudden I get this message on Facebook that said, "Told you I would find him," and left the number and said, "Call right now." And so when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God!" I immediately like stopped and just started thinking and everything like, "Okay, is this real?" You know what I'm saying? Is this like in 24 hours? I've been trying to find my father since I was like in high school, when I was like maybe 15, 16. It was, I went on one of those sites called peoplesearch.com and stuff, and had paid for, to get the list of numbers in the different areas and stuff like that. And I remember when before my mother passed away, she was like, "I don't know where your father is. All I heard was that he got remarried and had a couple of kids, and now he lives in North Carolina." I was like, "Okay, fine." So that's when I did the people search and everything and tried to look for his name and everything. And I had a real difficult time in trying to find him. So that's like been my hardest experience since I was in high school and stuff. So it's just like unbelievable that it just took 24 hours, and really thanks to Facebook, because Facebook, even though sometimes people talk negative and do crazy stuff on Facebook and everything like that, or of course people to commit suicide, and that was the last thing they said and everything like that, Facebook actually is a great social network that everybody should really pay attention to and utilize it for good and not for bad. Um, because of this experience right here, it just meant the world to me. Needless to say, I started crying. I went to my boss. Almost about to cry right now, but I went to my boss, and he always knew that I've been trying to find a father figure in my life, and I felt that that was something that was incomplete in my life. And I just started sharing. I'm like, "Oh my God, I found my father," or what have you. And I got his number, and I said, "I don't know what to do, and I'm scared to call him." Mind you, while I'm sitting there contemplating and calling my father, um, the guy that hit me up, Tony Riley, sent me another message. He was like, "Your father said call him right now." And I responded back. I was like, "Okay, I said, I'm crying right now. I don't know what to do. I'm scared and everything." And so after I sent that message, replied back to him, I went back to my boss and was like, "This is just unbelievable." And he started questioning me like, "Did you, excuse me, did you ever think this was going to happen and everything?" And I was like, "Well, no, I didn't think this was going to happen." He's like, "Well, what are you going to do now? What are you going to say?" I said, "I don't know what to say, because I knew I've been looking for him, but I never phantomed that I would actually find him." You know what I'm saying? So, needless to say, I said, "I don't know. I haven't thought beyond that point after I found him, what would happen and everything like that." So I went back to my computer, Tony Riley sent me another message saying, your father said, forget about work, tell your boss, you know, to let you call and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of laughed at that, and I was like, okay, I will. And so needless to say, it's been about 2.5 hours since he sent that message, and I haven't called my father yet, because I just began to process in my mind, what will I say, what will it be like. I know it's going to be really emotional. That's why I've just been crying ever since I got off from work and everything. And I just like been calling other people. I called my godmother, who even though we were chatting on Facebook, this was the first time I actually talked to her on the phone after so many years and stuff. So I just began to tell her that, hey, I found my father. And so she was like, well, give him a call and just, talk to him and stuff. So I was like, cool. So I just thought it would be probably a good idea, because doing this video is not me. You know what I'm saying? I don't get in front of the camera like that to talk about my story. But I wanted to record this. I thought it would be very integral to do so, because of the simple fact that there are many people out there who grew up in foster care like I did, who've been successful, who haven't been successful, who had their ups and downs as far as life like myself, but really, haven't been complete because of that one missing piece, not finding a loved one or a father or a mother, a sister or brother, whatever the case may be. So I thought that it would be very, very important for me to go ahead and do this, for that simple fact. I mean, I am going to post it. I'm not looking for anything big or what have you. However, I think that if anybody sees this and looks at this video in its entirety, that they would be inspired and be blessed by it and believe in God and have faith that it is possible to seek and find what it is that you're looking for, especially when it's about healing yourself. I could have gave up and said, you know what, forget about it, and life would have went on. But I felt that in 2011 was the year to be reconnected for me. And that means with loved ones, people who I used to be connected to, like I said, my church friends and everything like that. It's just time for me to be reconnected and be placed back in the fold of life where I used to live and who I used to be around, and that was people who loved me and cared about me. So I haven't called him yet, so I wanted to make this video and actually call him on the speakerphone. This is not a joke, this is serious, and for people who may see this, who know me, know that this is real, and this is a big, big, big step for me and an accomplishment as far as my life is concerned. So I'm getting ready to call him and put it on speakerphone, just so people can be inspired and be touched. And so yeah, so here I go. I'm gonna call him. If I start crying when we talking, please forgive me, but it's just me being emotional, because like I said, this is serious matter. So here we go. Hello, may I speak with Kenny?
Yes, this is Kenny. How you doing?
All right, this is your son.
Hey, how you doing, man?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Nice to hear from you, man.
Man, it's so good to hear from you. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I know, Valerie told me. I'm glad we still got friends, or it looks out for us.
I know. What you doing right now?
And that's what I was waiting for you to call. I've been waiting since
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock your time.
Yeah, since 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was just setting up Facebook and everything, and I was on there, but I didn't never add no picture or anything like that.
Oh, so
one of the friends asked me last week to do it.
So you saw my profile?
Well,